Are we live? Go live. Okay. All right. It looks like we are live. And usually I'm here by myself, but it seems like there's other people here tonight, so I'm going to try to keep it down today. Let me share this on Facebook. Okay, hold on. Sorry, I'm logging into Facebook so I can share it. I really should have done this before. Share on the page I managed. June the Groomer. Okay. I'm just going to put we are live. And there we go. So it's shared onto Facebook. Pauline, how are you, Pauline? Wow, we already have people watching. Lee Rowley, what's up, Lee? Good evening. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start reading chapter 4. So this is from my book, The Art of Grooming. And is that? Let me see. Can you see? Okay, perfect. The Art of Grooming, and today we're gonna be reading chapter 4. This is the halfway mark because my book is actually 8 chapters. So chapter 4 would be the halfway point here. So, testing. 1, 2, 3. I'm just kidding. So, this is actually a chapter that when I wrote it, I actually choked up a couple of times. It actually got me emotional because you'll see why. Okay. So, chapter 4. The language of touch therapy, and pressure points. One of the best sermons I remember hearing as a child was on the healing power of a loving touch. Let me see if I can do this again. Okay, take 2. One of the best sermons I remember hearing as a child was on the healing power of a loving touch. It was about an orphanage where the baby closest to the door would always do far better than the other babies that were in the room in every area of development. They were happier, healthier than the rest. They were happier and healthier than the rest, and the director of the orphanage wanted to know why it was always the baby closest to the door. It turned out that every night the lady caretaker would hold the baby closest to the door and gently rock them and talk to them before leaving the room. It was only a few minutes each night, but that was enough to make a world of difference for that one child that received a loving touch of a caring hand. Touch is powerful and so essential for well-being. I found a study that has been done more recently in Korea. A group of Korean infants under the care of an orphanage were provided with an extra 15 minutes of stimulation twice a day, 5 times a week for 4 weeks. The additional stimulation consisted of auditory, which was a female voice, tactile, which was massage, and visual, eye-to-eye contact. Compared to infants who only received regular care, the stimulated orphans gained significantly more weight and had larger increases in body length and head circumference after the 4-week intervention period, as well as 6 months of age. As well as at 6 months of age. In addition, the stimulated infants had fewer illnesses and clinic visits. And this is from Kim T. and Shin Y. and White Trot R. 2003. It was a multi-sensory intervention improves physical growth and illness rates in Korean orphan newborn infants. Research in nursing and health. And there's like a journal reference number there. And it's called it was entitled The Power of a Loving Touch. Oh, this is my last sentence. I'm sorry. It's been a while since I actually read my own book. So the last sentence here, I wrote, the power of a loving touch has a lasting healing effect. And just to go off script a little bit, That study fascinated me because they actually went back and they revisited those same kids that got the extra stimulation for 15 minutes a day, and it was only 15 minutes a day, 5 times a week for 4 weeks. And these infants that got the extra stimulation, which was the female voice, the comforting voice, the massage, the gentle massage, and the eye to eye contact, just because they got that, not only did they grow, their body length was longer and they had a better head circumference, but even at 6 months of age, they were doing better. And then when they revisited those children later on, when they were older, they were still doing better than all the other kids, socially, emotionally, even in their educational level. Like, it was intellectual level. It was amazing. So for me, that one research that was done in 2003, well, it was published in 2003. It's just proof. It's scientific proof that the power of a loving touch has a lasting healing effect. Oh, Go Groomer's here. What's up, Go Groomer? I know it's a little late. Thank you so much for joining. Crawley's Canine Care. What's up? This is my first live. Wow, thank you so much. Well, thank you so much for joining me for my live reading. I'm gonna try not to stumble over my own sentences that I wrote. It's just been a while since I actually read my own book. So, anyways, also let me try to keep it down. There's other people here. Okay, so going back to the book. This is page 30 in chapter 4. Understanding the power of touch will give you the ability to groom with total confidence and ease. It is not about touching our dogs. Biting each other is considered touching. No, it is not about touching our dogs. Yeah, because biting each other is considered touching for dogs. But knowing how to touch our dogs. The way we touch them and the intentions behind the touch have everything to do with how the dogs react to you. When grooming a hyper or nervous dog, sometimes you will notice yourself holding your breath. Once you are aware of that, you'll also notice that your body is tense and your grip on the dog may be much more firm than necessary. As soon as you recognize what is going on, then the solution is immediate and happens naturally. Take a deep breath through your belly, not through your chest, and feel yourself becoming calm. Now imagine you are a nurse taking blood from a child. Touch and hold with the intention only to help and a feeling of compassion. Remember that your grip and your actions all communicate your intentions of helping. We all know that love is patient, love is kind. Right now, you are a dog groomer. You are love in action, which means that you are patient and you are kind. We must adopt these ideas and be willing to try to put them into practice by exercising the power of our minds. Having merely an intellectual knowledge of these concepts will do us no good. We must integrate them into our grooming sessions and experience the feeling for ourselves. It is one thing to read about making a garden. It is quite another to actually do it. I had the unique experience in my childhood to build an enormous garden with my grandfather before he passed away. Looking back, it was one of the best experiences of my life, but while I was going through it, there were several occasions that I thought I was going to die. I had never encountered such a physically and mentally challenging experience until then, and it hurt. However, I learned that you cannot just download a farm from the internet. Nature requires time and effort, and that is what we must keep in mind when trying to build a relationship with the dogs we groom. My wife has heard my philosophical rants about dog grooming and how we should all aspire to become Jedis ever since we met. But even she was astonished at times. It is not anything about me physically, but rather my approach and the way I touch that makes the difference. Each of us possesses all that is necessary to accomplish an extraordinary groom, but we must believe in ourselves. When we touch a fearful dog, fearfully, we cannot achieve balance. We must touch them calmly and with total confidence. How we touch, the intentions behind the touch, has everything to do with the reaction we get from the dogs we are grooming. They need to feel calm, healing energy that comes through the practice and the use of proper breathing and visualization techniques that we covered in the previous chapters. Now that we have an understanding on how to touch, I would like to briefly discuss where to touch. There are certain areas on a dog that you can touch in order to help alleviate pain or discomfort. The energy that we covered in chapter 2, called qi, flows throughout the dog's body, traveling along pathways called meridians, which are energy lines. These energy lines have points where they intersect, called pressure points. According to TCM, which is traditional Chinese medicine concepts, all illnesses and negative unwanted behaviors can be traced to a deficiency in the flow of qi to a certain area. They believe that by balancing the flow of qi through touch therapy, we can help restore the body to its natural state of well-being. And this is a quote from a book called AccuDog, A Guide to Canine Acupressure. It's from page 5. Quote, acupressure connects you and your dog with thousands of years of natural healing. It's a gentle yet powerful healing tool based on traditional Chinese medicine, TCM. Our dogs need not know the theories and concepts that underlie the acupressures and TCM. They will thoroughly appreciate the feeling of health and well-being, leaving the understanding and the richness of knowledge to you. That's by Amy Snow and Nancy Zadonis. And the book is called AccuDog, ACU-Dog, A Guide to Canine Acupressure. And that's a quote from page 5. Acupressure is a way to communicate our intentions to help the dog in a way the dog immediately understands. Because groomers do not usually have the luxury of time, we must have a way to gain the dog's trust rather quickly so that the grooming session does not run all day long. 1 second. I can talk the dog's ear off in the tub and tell him my entire life story leading up to becoming a groomer. He wouldn't care one bit. However, if I touch him in a way that promotes relaxation and calmness, he immediately understands who I am by my touch. When I groom a dog, I always try to incorporate many, if not all, acupressure points and gently massage them as I lather the shampoo, and when I massage the conditioner into the coat. Sometimes there are situations and circumstances that prevent me from being able to, but it is always good to have an understanding of pressure points and knowing which ones can benefit the dog you're grooming. Remember to always touch with the intention of love and a willingness to help them. They can literally feel our intentions, how we're feeling. I sing love songs and inspirational songs to them, which seems to help tremendously with nervous, fearful dogs. There's one dog named Maggie, she was a Westie, and I swear her song was Sometimes When We Touch. And when I would sing that song to her, sometimes when we touch, the honesty is too much, she would look me in the eyes and her eyes literally would start watering. It was amazing. And it wasn't any, I tried other songs as well. It was that song. For some reason, that tune, I don't know, she loved it. But yeah, singing songs that help promote the feelings of love and compassion, and which is why I like to sing love songs or inspirational songs like that. It seems to really tremendously help with nervous and fearful dogs. This is love in action, a labor of love, and the benefits for your relationship with your dog will be indescribable. We must show them that we are humans worthy of their trust and cooperation. For details and a complete guide to canine acupressure, I suggest reading AccuDog, A Complete Guide to Canine Acupressure by Amy Snow and Nancy Zadonis. And that's it. That's chapter 4. Let me get to the comments here. Hello, Crawley. Okay, nice. Amy saying hello to Crawleys. They're saying hi to each other. Love our June the Groomer. Wow, thank you, Amy. Amy, I really love your channel. Crawley says, I found you because of Grow Groomer. Oh, nice. Thank you so much. He's a great find. Nice. Lee Raleigh. Hey there. Nice. I thought I recognized you from MFG. And yes, my favorite groomer. Yes. Lee, music soothes the savage beast. It really does, because Maggie the Westie, she, you know how Westies can be, they're terriers, and terriers are terrors sometimes. And she would, because she gets nervous and stuff, and I would sing, I would say, you asked me if I love you, and I choke on my reply. And, when I get to the chorus, especially the chorus, sometimes when we touch, she would literally start to, like, her eyes would start to water, like, she would feel it, and it was amazing. And she would kiss me, and it was just amazing. She passed away now because she was kind of older. She was getting in there in years. 'Cause I started grooming her back in 2012, and she was already like, I think like 10, like I forget. But anyways, yeah, she started getting older and weak, and she passed away now. But I'll always remember those moments that I had with her. But yeah, music really does soothe the savage beast. Go Groomer. The honesty is too much, and I have to close. Yeah, and I have to close my eyes and cry. I wanna hold you. Okay, never mind. I wanna hold you. Before I lose all my subscribers. Lee, one of my favorite songs from back in the day. Yeah, right. They don't make songs like that no more. That is amazing, right? Crawley's Canine Care. Amy Gogurmer says it really does work. I do too. If they need a distraction, exactly. The thing is, I've noticed that it really calms me down too. It calms me. It helps by singing love songs or inspirational songs. It just helps calm me down sometimes. And once I know I'm calm, they can feel it from me. They can feel the energy, and it calms them down. Like I said in chapter 4, when you have a fearful dog and you touch them fearfully, and you're feeling scared of the scared dog, it's just like, it's almost like a feedback loop. It's like rah, 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 and it's not gonna help the situation. We have to help bring the dog back to balance. And if the dog is feeling scared or nervous, we can't be scared or nervous with them. We're just gonna bounce off each other. One of us has to calm down. My breathing, and then singing love songs. And that's why. So I know some groomers listen to heavy metal and like Metallica, things like that. They like to jam out. I'm not gonna judge anybody. If that helps, great. But for me, I just feel like if my intention, my goal is to bring the energy down, low, so that we can be calm. And I just feel like like I don't know if that's really gonna help the situation. If you have a happy-go-lucky dog, great, jam out. But with the dog that's fearful or nervous, they're insecure, and they might be showing their teeth because they're scared. I feel like maybe Metallica or maybe it's not the best idea. Just my opinion. Lee, that is so special. Great memory. Yeah, I really, it's really unique relationships I form with every dog, just like with people. With all, friendships are all unique, and every dog really does have their own personality. And after grooming them for so many years, same dog, seeing them every month, we really get to know each other, and it does feel like a real friendship. And so when a dog passes, I mean, there is a grieving period. I mean, it's really tough. I think a lot of groomers can relate to this when you have a client, a dog that you've been grooming for a long time, and you watch them, especially if you've been grooming them since they were a puppy, and you watch them, get older, and then they pass away. Man, it's really tough. It's really tough. I've cried so many times. But let's see here. Crawley's Canine Care says, I have found singing songs in Cherokee distracts the dogs because they aren't used to hearing things that aren't in English. Oh, nice. That's really interesting. Cherokee. So I guess I'm guessing you're Native American. You have Cherokee in your family. I guess that's pretty interesting. Go Groomer. Nope. I tried to subscribe again, but it won't let me. LOL. Oh. June, my name is Chaz chastity, 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 chastity. Okay, just for future info. Okay, am I saying it right? Chastity. Okay, because I mean, I'm trying to sound. It's chastity. Um, hopefully I'm right. I am quarter Cherokee. My grandmother was full blooded. Wow, that's incredible. Um, when I was out in Arizona, I got to visit the spa out there, and it was called Aji. I think it was called Aji Spa, but they had all kinds of like Native American stories and tales from stories that were passed down from generation to generation. It was fascinating. I was reading all of them, but before I end this, I wanted to just explain a couple of pressure points that really help dogs calm down, and they're right in front of the ears. There's points called the ear gate, the ear palace, the pool of hearing, or something like that. They have all these weird Chinese names, but the point is right in front of the ear, where you can feel like a little dip, right? There's one up here, there's one here. In both of these areas, when you massage like just gentle massages, and you want to feel love for the dog, and you want to have intentions to help them feel better, right? And it literally transfers through our body, through our fingers, and we want to send that energy through our fingertips into these pressure points. And it's a gentle massage. And if you can do it clockwise, you can whichever way you do it, you want to do it on the same side, on the other side. So let's just say you do 4 gentle circular motions, or maybe 4 to 6. Then you want to do the same amount on the other side, so you're balancing it. And you can even do it at the same time for the dogs, right? And then behind the ears, there's a few. And then right here, when you go in the middle of the dog's, the nose, right in between the eyes, that really helps calm them down. But then at the very back of their head, the occiput or something like that, there's like a bone that kind of protrudes out. Right behind that bone, you'll notice a little indent on the dog's back of the dog's head. That is called I think it's called 100 meetings. But right there, that's another good soothing point, right? It just helps soothe and calm the dog down. And if you have a dog that has some pain, joint pain, then on the very back of the dog's the rear leg. You know what? Maybe I can draw it here. I'm gonna turn it. Sorry, I'm just turning the camera to the whiteboard. I'm gonna see if I can draw it for you guys. It's called Kunlun Ridge. Or Kunlun Ridge is what the Chinese. The more common term for it is called aspirin point. So let me see if I can draw the dog's. That's the tail. That's the dog's tail, right? So here's the dog's leg, right, and their back foot. Okay. Okay, I don't know what kind of dog that is, but man, this is not a good drawing. There we go. Then the tuck up here. And then the front foot. I am not a good artist here to draw. Okay, that looks like a. Okay, there we go. So, okay, so let's just imagine that this is a dog, right? So the Kunlun Ridge. Oh, so the pressure points are here in front of the ears, and then behind the ears, right here behind the. That's the pressure point right there that I was talking about. And all throughout the dog's body, really. I mean, the feet, around the feet has some, right around here. There's all kinds of pressure points, and there are these meridian lines, these energy lines that go all through the dog's body. Some of them come from the spleen. It's crazy. But the book AccuDog is really going to help. It has diagrams. But this is the one that I wanted to tell you about, called the Kunlun Ridge. Right here, you'll notice that you'll feel like a tendon, right? Like a little tendon here, and then the bone here. And right here in between, right here, right above the dog's ankle joint, that hock, right there. So what you want to do is use your fingers like this, right? And gently up and down this right here. And you'll feel it. They call it the Cundon Ridge because it's this little area here that dips in between the dog's bone and the like a little cartilage, the right here on the outside. So it's right here, but it's called the aspirin point because it's just a general feel-good spot, just a general pain reliever, kind of like taking an aspirin. And so that's a really good spot. And again, if you do it like 4 or 5 gentle strokes up and down, when you're putting your fingers in between the bone and that soft area right there, if you do 4 to 5 strokes there, then on the other side, you want to do the same thing on the other side, the same amount. So that way you balance the dog's energy. Anyways, that was probably a waste of time because oh man. Oh, sorry. Giving you like a little tour of this room here. I got this remote control here to control this. Oh man. All right. So anyways, let me see here. Oh, Crawley's king. So this is Chastity. I'm named after Sonny and Cher's daughter, but my stepdad didn't know how to spell it. Oh, okay. Nice. That's awesome, Chastity. Well, I'm so glad that you joined. I'm so glad that you found my channel through Amy. Amy, Go Groomer, you'll notice that her show is much more organized. She is a much more put together person. Amy has her shit together. I kind of don't. My life is kind of a mess, but it's okay. What we share is our passion for grooming dogs, and I think that's where we connect. Let's see here. Yes, it's just spelled a bit different. She's awesome. Okay, nice. Go Groomer, absolutely nailed it. Elise Williams, how are you? I totally missed your reading. I work in Arizona, and you are my inspiration. I love singing everything from Adventure Time. I love singing everything. Stays from Adventure Time. It calms the dog so much. Nice. And sometimes I'll sing Christian songs too, because one of my favorite songs especially when I'm feeling kind of anxious and there's bills that are stacking up and just all kinds of stuff. I like to sing In His Time. In His time, He makes all things beautiful. In His time, and it just helps me just remember that I'm not that in control of my circumstances. I like to think that I'm more in control of things than I really am, and I have to realize, it's all in the universe's time, God's time, whatever you want to call it. But I just feel like He makes all things beautiful in His time, right? And Lord, please show me every day as you're teaching me your ways, that you do just what you say in your time. Anyways, I like to sing songs that help me feel inspired, help me feel love, help me feel more calm, things like that. And the dogs literally, they can sense it from us. Let's see, Go Girl. I'm starting to feel calm now myself. Nice. And this Chastity. It looks like a dachshund pointer. The dog that I drew. Nice. At least it looks like some sort of dog. Oh my, I'm looking at it. It's like, is that a moose? Anyways, a baby moose that just plopped out of the mother's womb, looking all awkward. Okay, Chastity says the Achilles tendon. The Achilles tendon. That's what it is. Thank you so much. Yes, the Achilles tendon and the bone. You'll feel like a little indent right there, and you just do these gentle sweeping motions like that. I'm not gonna say anything inappropriate because I don't want to ruin this feed. Okay, Lee says that was awesome. Amy is amazing. Yes, she really is. Um, Amy says, "Stop saying that." Yes, we do. Uh, Amy, you are awesome though. Own it, girl. Don't be modest. Chastity says, "Passion is what is important." Yeah, I believe so. And several people have made this point, but Seth Godin, Simon Sinek, I think even Tony Robbins has talked about this as well. But they're saying that so many people almost use it as an excuse, like I haven't found my passion. Oh, I can't find my passion. That's why I'm not passionate about my work, and I can't find my passion, bro. It's like they're saying stop looking for passion. It's not out there. You're never gonna stumble upon passion. Come home one day, look what I found. I found me some passion, baby. You're never gonna find it. They're saying instead of trying to look for something, look for a job or looking for work that you're passionate about. Just be more passionate. Just be a more passionate person, and be more passionate about the work that you already do. And they're saying that whatever it is you do, if you own your own small business, let's say you own a corner convenience store, you can still every day choose to be more passionate about going to work and doing whatever it is that you do. If you're a janitor, if you're a cook, let's say you're a Waffle House cook, you can still show up every day as a passionate person and become more passionate about what you do. And then you become a passionate person. It's like, and you become passionate about your work. It's not that you find work that somehow causes you to all of a sudden feel more passionate about your work. You're not going to find passion. You don't trip over and stumble on it. Passion is something that you create from within, and you choose to be more present, more interested in the work that you're already doing. Um, let's see here. Lee says, "My go-to is bang your head." I don't know if I heard that. Lee Riley, appreciate the love, sweetie. You are so right, Chastity. Okay, Chastity says, "June, if you want to see a channel that isn't put together, go check mine. It is a little MacGyver." Nice. Well, I think the trend these days really is starting to become more just being authentic, right? Being real. I was actually this just a couple days ago on Tuesday, my Toastmasters meeting. After the meeting, a few of us got together and we hung out at a pizza joint where they have $2 draft beers on Tuesdays. So I was talking to John, one of my fellow Toastmasters at the club, and he was saying that how he's so sick of all this social media and Facebook and Instagram, and everyone's putting all these filters and making it seem like their life is so awesome. He's saying that he thinks that has a lot to do with how there's a lot of depression. A lot of people are falling into depression these days, struggling with anxiety and depression, and there's a lot of suicide these days. I mean, somebody that I know, a close friend of mine, her daughter has had a friend just commit suicide recently, and they were friends for 20 years. No one saw it coming, because we hide it. We try to hide our pain. We try to hide the things, and we feel almost ashamed that our life isn't perfect, because we see all these other people on social media, and it seems like everyone's having such a great life except me. But it's not true. It's fake. It's not fake, but it's just you're seeing the highlights of everybody's life. And that's why I feel like sometimes it's good to just be real and be open and honest and let people know, hey, sometimes my life sucks, and it's okay. Life is a series of ups and downs. It's a wave. It's always a wave, and it's just understanding that maybe right now I'm going through a down wave, right? But that's okay, and I should be grateful for the lessons that I'm going to be learning through this, and the strength of character that I developed going through this time, and understand that there's going to be another upwave soon, and I'll be doing fine. And everybody goes through it, just I think by sharing some of our struggles and being open and honest with people, and not feeling like we have to live such filtered lives, right? And making our life look so perfect and put together, I think it'll help. Um, you know, help some people not feel so alone, not feel like they're the only ones whose life sucks. No, everybody's life sucks at times, sometimes more than others, but it's okay. And I don't know, I just, yeah, he was saying that he likes to take social media breaks sometimes. And he's saying that human beings were kind of made to have some space. And these days, we never have that space. If you're constantly checking social media, going through your Facebook feed, going through Instagram, like I do, because I'm genuinely interested in people. I have to admit, I love going and scrolling through and looking at people's updates and looking at their pictures and stuff and what they're doing, because I'm genuinely interested in people. But I do see the danger in it, because you see all these people doing all these great things, and they're going on vacation, and they're happy with their daughters and their family, and their husband and wife look so happy. Here's a funny story he told me. He was saying that like in his group of friends, there was this one married couple. Like, they were always posting how amazing their marriage is, and how he loves her so much and she loves, oh, we're so in love, and always posting these pictures. They almost got a divorce because he was having an affair on his wife. And she got so mad that she blasted it in public. She blasted it all over Facebook, right? And embarrassed him. And they worked it out, and now they're back together, and they didn't get a divorce. But he was like, he's paying for it. She's making his life a living hell. But he's back on Facebook now, like, oh, I love her so much. She's so awesome. And he's like, all of their friends are like, yeah, right. Like, we know what's going on now. But anyways, it's just funny because, it seems like sometimes the more people go on Facebook and profess how happy they are, because usually people who are happy and content with their lives, they don't really feel the need to advertise that and broadcast that to the world, because they're happy and content. They're fine. They don't really feel the need to convince everybody that they are. So sometimes when you see people making such a effort, I guess, to show how happy they are, sometimes it's a cause for some suspicion there. Are they really that happy? Because if they are, why are they so trying so hard to convince us? So don't let comparison rob you of your own personal happiness and your own joy. Everyone's life is different, and we all have different challenges. We all have different tests. Life throws different tests at all of us. So there's no use looking at your neighbor's papers. Don't look at anyone else's answers, because we all have different tests. Keep your eyes on your own paper. I hope that helps. Let's see here. Chastity says, legit, not trying to promote myself, just saying that your channel is actually really put together. Oh, wow, thank you. I'm glad you think so. Go Groomer, quiet riot. Lee says, man, I am old. I feel it too these days. I'm almost 40. 2 more years and I'll be 40. Actually, I'll be 39 in February. Isn't that crazy? I act like I'm 16. I feel like I'm 12. Elise says, what do you think we can do when our coworkers do not feel the same passion as we do? The thing is, I realized that the fastest way to a miserable life, the recipe for misery and frustration is to try to change other people. So I've given up on trying to change anyone, and I realize now how difficult it is to change myself. And once I realized how difficult, damn near impossible sometimes, to change myself and recognize my own flaws, and to admit and accept that I am an embarrassingly flawed person. I really am. And once I realized, wow, it is so difficult to make changes in my own life, in my own behaviors, um, that's when I realized it's impossible to change anyone else. Why try? Why even focus on that? I just have to change what I can change about me, because that's the only thing I really have control over is myself. I don't even have control over the circumstances that happen to me, right? Jack Canfield, a lot of these guys, they remind us, you cannot control the circumstances. All you can control is how you respond to what happens, right? So you can't control other people, your coworkers. All you can control is how you choose to respond to them, right? And sometimes the only response that I feel like I have is to walk away, right? Leave the shop, find another shop, because it's just not the right environment for me. I remember when I was out in Arizona, before I found a shop that I wanted to work for, I went to several different shops. I remember walking in, taking a look around, and seeing all the frowns on people's faces. The shop smelled like pee. It wasn't really, it wasn't the environment that I wanted to be in, and I just walked right out. Like I didn't hand my resume, nothing. I had my resumes all printed out, and I looked up all these shops that had good reviews on Google and Yelp, and so I had like 8 different shops that I mapped out, and I remember I walked out of like 3 or 4 of them. I just walked in, looked around, walked out. Not every because you're not gonna change other people, and you're not gonna change someone else's shop. You might. I mean, I'm not gonna say nothing's impossible. You might be able to, but for me, I've learned that that's a recipe for frustration and misery. Trying to change other people. Oh my goodness. So here's what I like to. I love sharing this story. It's the 100 monkey theory, right? And I heard this at the Spiritual Living Center in Atlanta. The Reverend David Alt. He told the story of these monkeys in the South Pacific Islands or something like that. But it's like kind of like Indonesia. They have all these like little separate islands, like chains of islands, like keys almost, right? But anyways, on this one island where these biologists were studying the monkeys that were living on this island, these monkeys, one of them, they would eat the sweet potatoes growing naturally on the island. One of the monkeys would take the sweet potato and wash it in the ocean before eating it, and he didn't try to convince any of the other monkeys to do it. He just kept doing this every day, and soon enough, the other monkeys were watching him doing this, and they started washing the sweet potatoes before eating it because it's just much nicer to eat. You don't have to deal with all the grit and the dirt in your mouth, right? So after a certain number, they said after about 100 monkeys on this island started doing this behavior, the same species of monkeys on the next island, miles away, and these monkeys don't swim and communicate with each other. They had no way of communicating with each other, right? They don't use Wi-Fi or social media or anything. The same species of monkeys on the neighboring island, they started washing the sweet potatoes. They started doing it too. And the theory is that the same species that share the same similar DNA, when enough members of the species adopt a new behavior that's beneficial for that species, then there's like a tipping point in consciousness, and they all start doing it. Isn't that interesting? And so it floored me, and I raised my hand, and I was like, and he was like, yeah, you have a question? And I asked him, I was like, did the monkey show the other monkeys how to do it? Like, did he try to get teach the other monkeys to do it? And he was like, no, and he was like, but that's a pretty good point. He was saying, maybe if that monkey started a campaign, and tried to get the other monkeys to change, and like, hey, you should do this, you should wash your sweet potato before you eat it, they might have thrown the sweet potato at him. He might have met with resistance because he's trying to change their behavior. Nobody likes that, right? Nobody likes to be told what to do. But because he didn't try to change anyone's behavior, he didn't start a campaign, he didn't start a new hashtag thing, he just did it for himself because it was the way he liked to eat sweet potatoes. And because he didn't try to change the other monkeys, they changed themselves. They just saw that it was good for him, and they just started doing it. After about 100 of them did it, there's a tipping point in consciousness, and the entire species were doing it. Isn't that interesting? So that's when this was about 6 years ago, right? And that's when because before this, I was like, the grooming industry needs to change. I was gonna be the one to change the grooming industry. It's like, no, I realized I'm not gonna change anything. I'm not gonna change a 100-year industry, thousands of years really, but only in the past 30 years has it really become what it is, a multi-billion-dollar industry. I'm not gonna change anything. I'm not gonna change the industry. I realize I just need to do what I feel is best for me and my clients, and not try to change anyone. Don't start a campaign. And then if I can inspire other groomers to maybe consider a different approach to dog grooming, then after enough groomers start doing it, there might be a tipping point in consciousness. And so I now have 100 groomer theory. And so far we're pretty close, right? Let's see here. But Elise Williams, that would be my long answer to your short question. Sorry, I try to keep my answers concise, but yeah, to answer your questions, what do you think we can do when our coworkers do not feel the same passion as we do? There's nothing we can do about them. All we can do is just what we can, how we choose to respond to that. That's all we can do is control ourselves, not control anyone else. Let's see. Lee Raleigh, that is heartbreaking. What's heartbreaking? My 100 groomer theory is hard? No, I don't know. I'm probably late on that comment. So, Chastity says, at Elise Williams, at my previous jobs, I have found that showing my passion starts to run off on my coworkers. That's what I'm talking about. Chastity, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Rather than try to change anyone else, just be passionate and show your own passion, and maybe that will inspire other people to change. But you're not going to change other people by trying to get them to change. You see what I'm saying? Lee Rowley, if someone is really determined, they won't say anything because they don't want anybody to stop them. Exactly. And it's like, I'm going to set them straight. It's like, do you like to be set straight? I don't like to be set straight by anybody. I'm going to give them a talking to. It's like, I don't like getting a talking to, like, Les Brown says, a man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still. I hope I said that well. A man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still. So you just got to let them be. And understand that they are on their own path, on their own journey through life, and we're not gonna be able to really change anybody through force or anything like that, or by persuasive conversation. No, and I really like what the Buddha said. That life is a journey, right? And it's kind of like going through the jungle and trying to find our way through life, and sometimes it's dangerous, it's treacherous, full of danger sometimes, right? But then it's also beautiful at moments too. But when you're going through the jungle, the Buddha says it would be unwise to turn to someone else and tell them, hey, you're going the wrong way. Because you don't know, you're finding your way too, right? And I'd like to add to that, instead of telling somebody, hey, you're going the wrong way, follow me, I think the better thing would be to say, hey, I passed a snake back there, or I passed a tarantula, like back there or something. I passed something really dangerous back there. If you're going to go that way, just be careful. And that's what I think is sharing our experiences and sharing the lessons that we learn, and not trying to tell anybody what to do. Just, hey, if you go that way, the way that I went, just know that there's that there. Just be helpful, right? Let's see. Chastity, Lee, that is very true. Amy says true. Nice. True that, right? As long as Amy agrees, I don't care. As long as Go Groomer is here. All the bad things disappear. Anyways. Making me feel like maybe I am somebody. Okay, anyways. Chastity says, that reminds me of the story of the judgy lady and the dirty laundry. Oh, I would like to hear that story. If you like to share it. I never heard the judgy lady and the dirty laundry. Elise Williams says, I love that story. You are totally right. Nobody responds to negativity. Exactly. Lee Riley, suicide. Oh, yeah, that's heartbreaking. Yeah, it really is. And like my friend John and I were talking about, my fellow Toastmaster. I think sometimes when we convince ourselves that everyone else's life is so perfect and we're the only ones that have such a shitty life and everything sucks and everyone else is so happy, they're going on vacations and everyone's life is so awesome and mine sucks, I'm the only one. Sometimes it's easy to start going down the road of depression, and it always leads, the punchline to depression is suicide, right? Is to end it. I've had those thoughts before, I'll be honest. And that's why I really encourage people not to compare. Don't compare yourself to anyone else. If someone else is doing great, great. And understand the law of integrity. We're all connected, just like the organs in our body, right? Everything is connected. And so if someone else is doing well, be happy for them, understanding that it's in our best interest that others do well, right? Because it's somehow going to help us too, right? The heart will never complain that the lungs doing so great or the liver's doing fantastic, right? The heart's going to be happy for all of the organs in the body because all the organs need to do well individually so that we can all do well as a whole, right? And I think that sometimes when we convince ourselves that we're better than other people, that's where the problem comes in, or that we're not as good as other people. We're all important. It doesn't matter which organ of the body you are. You can be the eyeballs, What if the brain, suddenly started to think to itself, man, I hate the anus. I hate that asshole. He stinks, he's dirty, he's nasty. I'm the brains here. I'm so smart and sophisticated. I hate that part of the body. I hate the fact that we even have to share the same space, And then the brain starts to, do whatever it does, is maybe try to sabotage, try to make our butthole not function well. Well, then all of a sudden it's going to affect our intestines. It's going to affect everything else. And once we're not digesting well, that's going to affect everything else. And then, hey, guess what, brain? You think you're so smart and sophisticated and the asshole's so dirty and, so stupid and so dumb? Well, guess what? By screwing the asshole, you screwed yourself, right? So Malcolm Maltz, in the book Psycho-Cybernetics, he likes to remind us that we are neither inferior nor superior to anyone. You're just you. You're simply you. You're not better than anyone or worse than anyone. You're simply you. And he's saying, stop trying so hard to be somebody. Just realize that you already are somebody. You're you, and you're unique and special. No one can be you, and you can't be anyone else, right? And the best part is, when we just accept who we are, the good and the bad, then we realize we don't even have to try to be us. You don't have to try to be you. You just are you, right? You're the only one of you, and baby, that's the fun of you. Okay. Michelle, what's up, Michelle? Michelle Reisma says true. Nice. Okay, Amy, you and Michelle know each other. Crystal, sharing your experiences is good, but no one has life figured out. Exactly. Anyone who claims to have life figured out, they're delusional. They really are. Let's see. Amy. Chastity says, Judgy Lady and the Dirty Laundry. A lady had a new neighbor move in next door, and one day she saw the neighbor hanging up her laundry, and she made a comment about how dirty the laundry was. The next day, the lady saw the same neighbor hanging up laundry and made the same comment about how the laundry was all splotchy and dirty. Ooh, okay. I feel like this is a pretty good story. I'm invested now. Chastity, get those fingers typing, baby. I need to know that. I need to know how this ends. Oh man, why did I do that? Well, it's because my nostril was a little itchy. Anyways, but yeah, I don't know how we got into all this. When I was talking about chapter 4, the language of touch, and the pressure points, but really, chapter 4, just to sum it up, when we touch our dog, when we touch the dogs, always have that intention to help, like a nurse taking blood from a child, right? Even though the child might throw a fuss, cry, maybe even throw a tantrum, the nurse's job is to stay calm and be that voice of reason and help the child understand this is just something we have to do, and it's in your best interest that we get this done. This is for you, to help you, right? And the nurse has to stay calm. She can't get upset with that child, right? And grab the child's arm hard. So when we're grooming a dog, just think of it that way. When the dog starts acting up, and why is it that a standard poodle, or these Bichon, why is it that these dogs are so graceful? They were bred to be so graceful. They run and jump and swim. But when they're on the grooming table, it's like they forget how to use, they forget all motor functions, they're like drunk or something. They just, they just flop and flop. Their feet fall off the table. Like they can't stand for some reason. They lose all, they're seriously like drunk people or something. It's like, what? What is it about the grooming table that all of a sudden causes these dogs to lose all motor functions, the ability to stand straight and balance? It's like on the field they're graceful. You'll never see them fall or trip over themselves. On the grooming table, it's like they can't even stand straight. It's like, but we can't get upset. We can't allow ourselves to get upset or react negatively. We have to be that nurse, right? Calm, soothing, and touch them with the intention to help. And by breathing, it just helps us become more aware of our body, right? And so sometimes when we breathe, we'll notice, oh, maybe I'm grabbing that arm, that leg too hard, maybe I'm feeling frustrated, just kind of reset. Okay, so here it is. It looks like we're gonna get here at the end of the story. So just to recap, a judgy lady had a new neighbor, and one day she saw the neighbor hanging up her laundry, and she made a comment about how dirty the laundry was. The next day, the lady saw the same neighbor hanging up laundry and made the same comment about how the laundry was all splotchy and dirty. After a few days of this, one day the lady was looking out her window and exclaimed, "The lady learned how to do her laundry." Her husband said, "No, I woke up early and washed our windows." Oh, I love that. Oh man, Pauline, patience is key. Nice. Lee, that is hilarious, right? I love that. So every day she was saying that the neighbor had dirty laundry when actually it was her own window that was dirty. She was looking through a dirty window. I love that. Dog, go Groomer, dogs have drama too. Michelle Reisman, I start singing to them and they look at me like I'm all crazy. Well, it's probably because you don't have beautiful vocals like I do. I have the voice of an angel, like my Michael Bolton skills. So when I sing to a dog, it moves them. It moves. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But yeah. Sometimes they will look at you like you're crazy, but maybe change up the song. Amy says, Michelle Reisman, but it works. It distracts them and change their mind about the situation. That's smart. Nice. And you know what? Chastity, a story that I heard when I was in high school that always stuck with me. An old man was eating, what kind of cheese was it? I forget, but let's just say a really smelly, was it? I forget what kind of cheese it was. Okay, but this old man was eating this really stinky cheese, right? And he with crackers, and some of it got on his mustache. And while he was eating this cheese, he finishes his snack, and he falls asleep on his couch, right? And then he wakes up, and he takes a sniff around the room, and he knows that this room stinks. So he goes to the kitchen and he takes a breath in and he sniffs. He's like, this kitchen stinks, right? And then he goes to the bathroom to wash his hands and stuff, and he's like, this bathroom stinks. This whole house stinks. And so he's like, I gotta go outside and get some fresh air. He goes outside, takes a big breath in to get some fresh air. And he goes, this whole world stinks. So, I told that story to my daughter and she always remembered it too. But it's like sometimes when we feel like everything stinks, maybe it's not the world. Maybe it's not the whole world that stinks. Maybe it's us, right? Maybe we have to clean the cheese off our mustache. Limburger, that's right. Lee, have you heard this story? It's Limburger cheese. That's right. Limburger cheese, yes. So you guys already know this story. It's an old story. I heard it back in the 90s. And I remember when I heard it in the 90s, it was in the book The Chicken Soup for the Soul by Jack Canfield. But anyways, Michelle Reisma, it is right, Amy. Great minds think alike. Nice, nice. But yeah, you guys probably already heard that story, and I probably told it wrong, but you get the gist. The bottom line is, if you feel like everything stinks, no matter where you go, everything stinks, then maybe it's not everything that stinks. Maybe it's us, right? So, thank you guys so much for your time. Thank you so much for interacting. I really love this feeling of connection, like feeling like I don't know. It's just, we never lived in a time like this where I could just click a few buttons on my laptop and we are instantly connected live. This is amazing. I mean, we've never lived in a time like this. And it can be good or bad. The good is interactions like this, right? These kinds of interactions, this kind of experiences, right? That we can share. The bad is when we start to compare, right? So let's share, not compare. I just came up with that right off the dome. Isn't that awesome? Just rhyming. Lee says, no, I just know that Limburger is stinky. Nice. Okay, I thought maybe you knew the story. Chastity, hubby says, the quote is, if you have Limburger on your upper lip, the whole world smells like cheese. Nice, nice. Go Grimmer. Oh, thank you so much, Go Grimmer. I know it's late. Oh my god, it's 11 o'clock. And you probably have to work. It's Friday. I got a busy day tomorrow as well. Thank you all so much. Elise Williams, thank you. I really appreciate your time. And I'm going to finish with this, like I always like to. Oh, Amy says, love it, June. Thanks for bringing us all together and keeping the connection. Love the chapter tonight. Thank you so much, Amy. I really appreciate it. And the thing is, you recognize qualities in me that are also in you. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to recognize it. They say you spot it, you got it. And I see qualities in you that I admire so much, and it inspires me to know that it's possible that I possess those same qualities too. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to recognize it, right? And I'm going to end with the line that I love to say, I honor the light in you that is also in me. Namaste.